my god, Paige ended up meeting up with Chris's ex-fiance, and we found out that Chris is a big fat liar. Oh my god, you guys. Married at First Sight, unbelievable episode. So much stuff went down that we are going to talk about in a couple minutes. But first, we have to talk about what went down when Paige met up with Chris's ex-fiance, who was also his baby mama, I guess. Oh my god, this is unbelievable. So here is the deal. We got to see all the couples, and Chris ended up reaching out to Paige, and he said that he wants, her to sit down with him and his ex-fiance, who, if you don't remember, Chris said in the last episode that he does want to actually pursue a relationship with his ex-fiance because of the baby. So he told Paige and Pastor Khaled he is going to file a divorce. He has his own lawyer. He wants to file a divorce. And keep in mind, we're about a week into this whole, process. So he's calling it quits pretty soon, but he claims that it's because of the baby that he wants to go and pursue a relationship with his ex-fiance. Just remember that part. So anyway, he calls Paige, who it's like, why would she even answer the phone? If I was Paige and I would have gone through everything that Chris has put her through, if I saw, oh, Chris is calling me, just gotta do one of these, do that, I'd hit the end button and not answer. And I would just say, hey, text me. And I wouldn't even say text me. I would say, you can call producer, tell them, and they can tell me. I am not talking to this idiot. So for whatever reason, she picks up the phone, and Chris, being the moron he is, says, hey, I think it'd be a good idea to kind of clear the air. He kept saying, well, let's just clear the air, whatever that means. And so she finally agrees to sit down and talk to the ex-fiance and Chris, and the ex-fiance, you know what? It was interesting. She was definitely kind of a bit standoffish with Chris, and I also kind of thought she had this little smirk on her face, which it almost made me think, geez, is this whole thing just fake? Not fake with Married at First Sight, but fake with Chris. Like, is Chris just lying about this whole thing, and does she know? That was what, to me, was like, this seems kind of fishy, but let's just assume for now that she had no idea. They sat down. Number one, the girl said, the ex-fiance said she had no idea Chris was getting married at first sight. They did a thing that got her pregnant, and so she had no idea at that time. However, he was like knee deep in the Married at First Sight process when they did get together and, did the baby. So anyway, she had no idea. He kept it from her. But then after, she found out she was having the baby, she called him and he told her, yeah, I actually got married at first sight, which that seems kind of fake. But anyway, he said that, and then, Paige was like, honestly, I kind of thought I might have been pregnant because they were doing God knows what together several times, and they were not being very protective, if you know what I'm saying. So she was like, I think she was, I thought, past tense. She doesn't anymore, but she thought for a minute. And when the ex-fiance heard that, she was like, I did not know y'all took your relationship to that level. So that was kind of a discovery too. So number one, she didn't know he got married. Number two, she did not know that they went that far in their relationship. And number three, here is the kicker. The ex-fiance was talking, and Paige was like, she was kind of just like, where do you guys stand? What's going to happen? And she brought up the fact that Chris said that he wanted to take back, the ex-fiance and get back with her and raise the kid as a family. And the ex-fiance says, no, I never agreed to that. I am not going to get back with him. And she literally said, just so you know, Paige, I am not going to be getting back with Chris. And so just so we're all on the same page, like I said, last week, Chris claimed to Pastor Cal and Paige that he was going to end the marriage because he was going to get back with her. But this week, the ex-fiance says, no, that is not true. We are not getting together. So you can only imagine what is going through Paige's head. It's like, what? Like, what and what and what? And the funniest thing, this is where I don't know where I stand on this just yet, but the funniest thing was, the two ladies were going back and forth, very civil, very calm. There was no screaming, no fighting, no, they weren't trying to go and get Chris and fight after Chris. They were just like, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and they were kind of talking bad about Chris, because Paige was like, my intentions were pure, they were real, I came on here to get married, I was here for that, and it's like, obviously Chris was not, and Chris goes, my intentions were pure. No, they were not pure, because if they were pure, you wouldn't be messing around with your ex-fiance when you knew you were going to be getting married at first sight. So there you go, not pure. But that's what he was saying, and finally it got so bad, and these two women were not becoming friends, but they were being so friendly and civil. Chris just had like an emotional meltdown and was all mad and upset, and he was, oh my god. But really, if you really watch it back, in my eyes, I feel like what was going down was the two women, they were not fighting, keyword not, they were not fighting over Chris, and he was mad about it, and that was it. I think, honestly, he wanted to bring these ladies together to fight over him and to start drama, because this guy obviously just loves drama. they got together, they were being civil, and Chris was throwing a hissy fit. So that's what I believe was what went down. But comment below. There's another theory, because if you guys don't know, spoiler alert, Chris and his ex-fiance, I believe, number one, are still together because they were spotted in Cancun like 2 weeks ago. And number two, it sounds like that they never even had a baby. I don't know if they lost the baby. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. There's a third rumor that he actually got that girl's cousin pregnant, but I doubt that's true. And hey, real quick, before I go into the rest of this drama, I do have to say we are so close to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know, it's bizarre. It's crazy. I can't believe it. I freaking love you guys. And I just want to say, if you have not already subscribed to my channel on YouTube or even Facebook, please scroll down that video, hit that like, or actually no, it's a subscriber follow button. I'm an idiot, sorry. But hit the subscriber follow button. It helps out this channel so much. I love you guys dearly. Now let's keep going on to the rest of this video. But either way, long story short, it does sound like in present day that, you know, Chris and his ex-fiance get back together. It sounds like. So my question, and something to kind of think about, keep in the back of your head, is there's a possibility. Was this whole thing for Chris and possibly even the ex-fiance fake? Because like I said earlier, if you look at the ex-fiance's face, she had a little smirk this whole time, like almost like she was kind of in on something that she wasn't really saying. And that's why I was like, oh, you know what? I would not be shocked whatsoever if Chris and the ex-fiance are doing this just for some fame. He wants to get famous. Maybe the ex-fiance really just likes Chris and she wants to be with him and she agreed to do this because she likes him so much. I know it sounds kind of far-fetched, but I think there's more to this story that it's like, and especially if like Chris and this girl didn't have a baby, let's say she was never actually pregnant, well then it's like that brings up a lot of really serious questions, like is this whole thing fake for him? Was he just coming on for fame? What is going on? So a lot of questions we need to answer, but that was all we got to see for them. But it did look like Chris was very upset. And the craziest thing is, believe it or not, after all this just complete nonsense craziness, it still seems like Paige is in the possibility of a mindset of possibly considering working it out with Chris. Like still, after all this crap, I feel like she still has not thrown out the idea of making it work with him. It just sounds unbelievable, so stupid, but we're gonna have to wait and see. And we are just getting started because we also got to see Haley and Jacob. Oh my god, this couple to me sucks because I don't know what happens to them. I will say, I don't know the spoiler, but I can tell you guys one thing. There's about a 0.0000001% of a chance that they stay together. And that is just strictly because of Haley. Haley has no interest in Jacob. If this was Jacob's world, Jacob would say, he would like for sure say yes to her. But Haley is closed off. She has no interest. She's incredibly unattracted in his clothing and his 80s obsession and probably even his diet and his personality. And I know you guys are probably going to stay at home. Oh my god, Max, you are so rude. But that's just the reality. I don't think Jacob's a bad guy by any means. In fact, I think he actually has a very big heart. I think he's a very sincere, nice guy. Quirky personality, kind of weird, very strange actually, and he dresses like it's 2003, but he's a nice enough guy. And so I watched the episode, you know, very little synergy. We got to see some of her friends, which let me just say, I was kind of saying it on social media, one of her friends is kind of cute, but anyway, that is neither here nor there. Anyway, yeah, you know, the friends, I said this at the beginning of this season, the friends are these kind of sorority, maybe not sorority, but there's the sorority girls, they're the corporate, they're all dressing all nice, and they have these bubbly personalities, and they go to happy hour, and they do this, and they go to this game and that game, and they do all this crap. Jacob's not that guy, and Jacob doesn't have the personality to even hang at that level. It was very awkward. He's just a flat-out nerd. He's an attractive nerd, though, because he physically looks good, he's buff, but his inner core, he's a nerd, and he needs to be with a nerd. And so her friends are all, you know, corporate, pretty, you know, they're the popular girls, I guess you could say, and that's not Jacob. So it was very awkward seeing them all come together, and yeah, we even got to see Haley talk to one of her friends and say that the relationship is not going well because of his obsession with the 80s, and he dresses really weird, and he's just a very weird guy. And the friend was like, really? But then, you know, it's like you get to see Haley, she doesn't have that give and take, like it's a maybe. It's like, no, this is god-awful, it's not gonna work, and this is where I'm at, and that's how I'm feeling. And I just feel like she's the kind of a person where it's like, this is where she's at, she's not going to move, and you cannot persuade her any other way. She's just stuck like that. So it's a mess. It's very awkward, very weird, and we got to see Jacob's friends, and honestly, nothing against them or Jacob, but they were just as nerdy and dorky. They were very, and nothing against them. I'm even a nerd in myself, but oh my god, they were very nerdy, very dorky, and yeah, it's like, you know, two different levels of people, neither good or bad, but they're just such different people. Jacob and his friends, Haley and her friends, it was awkward, it was cringy, and long story short, it's not gonna work. Then we got to see Eric and Brianna. Now, a couple interesting things here. Number one, Brianna disappeared for a couple days, and that was why I was like, yeah, supposedly she went to a wedding, which I was like, why wouldn't he go with her? They are technically married now. Wouldn't your husband go to a wedding with you? So that seemed kind of weird, but he didn't go. He stayed back for whatever reason. And it's like, yeah, you know, she went to a wedding. They were gone. He was freaking out that she might, you know, not be missing him as much as he's missing her, which is just, I honestly find it so funny that Eric is also a gigantically huge dork. However, he has the biggest, I don't want to use the word cocky, but he kind of has a cocky personality for how dorky he is, and it's like the funniest thing. So he's like super out, you know, he says what's going in his head, whether that's good or bad. And so when she came back, he was like, oh my god, I missed you, and I was afraid you weren't missing me. And I think she was kind of like, okay, this is kind of getting creepy, kind of weird. And he was talking about how often they were texting when she was gone, and it was just like, dude, you're thinking way into this. This is just starting to get kind of weird. But the interesting thing was, you know, not only did she go to a wedding by herself, that was kind of weird, but she also had a housewarming party with her guy friends, the infamous guy friends that we got to see. That, you know, Eric was like, I don't want you hanging out with these guys very often. He was nervous that they might eventually come on to her. And honestly, here is the deal. Virginia, she's a partier. Her guy friends, they appear to be partiers. And when you are a partier, you have your other partier friends. Like-minded people hang out a lot. You know, they hang out together. And so that was it. So these people, if I had to guess, they just party together. It's probably nothing for Eric to worry about, but it is a little bit bizarre, you know. And then, of course, it was so stupid, you know, Eric and all them were partying and doing shots and all this stuff, and it's like, this, for me, the little I know Eric, it just seems so out of his comfort zone to be doing the shots and the this and the that, and it's like, really? But maybe he's like that, I don't know, I kind of doubt it. I feel like Eric is trying to conform and change for Virginia, which is never a good thing to do in a relationship, but I suppose I could be wrong. So he met the friends, they were fine, they were kind of just joking around. I just feel like Eric is so out of place because of the age and all that stuff, and they are so much younger than him. But I guess maybe not. Maybe he's kind of that same, I don't know. Maybe they are kind of working. They definitely seem to be kind of working, but I don't know if it's going to work long term, because this partying and the crap that he seems to kind of be trying to do for her, it's like, is he doing it for her, or is he doing it because that's how he truly is? And then real quick, we got to see Vincent and Brianna. Now, they ended the last episode on a god-awful fight. It was honestly, looking back on it, it wasn't a big deal. Vincent was being way too emotional. It was just stupid. That's all it was. It was a stupid little remark that Brianna made about champagne spilling, and it was nothing more than just a stupid little comment that really should have been handled like, hey, you know what, that was a joke, but it was also kind of just stupid. That was it. And Vincent, I like the guy, but his skin is way too thin. So he, you know, ended up leaving because he was so mad. Then supposedly he turned around that same night and went back home. They talked out the issue, and I guess they kind of worked it out. I guess I will say this. I say this every week. I think Brianna is one of the cutest girls in the whole world, but her personality is just a hair bit bossy. And so, you know, I think they're a perfect couple, though, and the fight was stupid. And what, long story short, ended up happening was Vincent met up with one of his friends, and they talked about it, and the friend was just like, dude, you're being a moron. She's a great girl. She's a perfect girl, and she's not disrespecting you at all. That's just her personality. You guys have two different personalities, and stop being an idiot and go make it work with her. That's basically what he said. And after I heard the friend say it, I go, you know what? He is right. The fight that Vincent had with Brianna was stupid. I don't even know if it was even real, because it was like, could this possibly be real? But maybe it was, I don't know. It just seemed kind of, it didn't seem fake, but it just seemed like, dude, your skin is way too thin. Grow some thicker skin, and maybe make a little remark like, hey, that kind of offended me, but brush it off and move on with your life. So they ended up working it out. All their families came together for a little housewarming party. They hit it off. It was great fun, and they're off sunshine and rainbows. Nothing else, really. And last but not least is kind of the kicker of this episode, and that was Clara and Ryan. Now, this couple, they are one of those couples we see every season where they're either going to go this way or that way, and they're in the middle spot right now. So we're going to either see them go up or down, and it's going to be really drastic either way. And right now, they're in the the middle, because Ryan, he's shy. I think he's really taking very small baby steps, and Clara, she's taking leaps and bounds. She's ready to go in the bedroom. She's ready to rock and roll, and Ryan's not. So the bedroom slowness is starting to kind of, I think, take a toll on Clara. She's starting to kind of get upset that they have not taken, I guess, many leaps and bounds in the bedroom, and she's starting to kind of get upset. And then also we had the partying issue. Clara likes to party. I guess they were like Jello shots or something, and they had a housewarming party with all their friends. He did not want to take one. She did. And this is where I stand in the same boat. I freaking hate drinking. And I occasionally will, but the thing I hate more than drinking is when people try to force you to. That, to me, is the biggest turnoff, rude, leave me alone, so freaking annoying. And her friends, they were trying to get him to take a Jello shot, and he was just like, no, I don't want to. And that should be no. No is no. It's not a maybe so. So they were just saying, oh, well, take one. He said, no. And they were still going back and forth, and it offended him, and it made him mad, and he has every right to be mad, because it's like, in my book, no means no. If he does not want to, he does not have to. And that is it. So they kind of had a fight about that. They're just taking baby steps. And that's what I mean. It can either go up or it can go down. It'll be one way or the other. And I think I could see it going down. But the thing with Ryan, I feel like he's so calm and nice. Is if Clara does freak out, which Clara probably will freak out if she does, not even if, but when she does, because I think she's starting to kind of get frustrated. So when she does, I feel like he can kind of calm her down, make her happy. And I think they will compromise and make it work. But they're starting to kind of definitely show their differences. They are clearly two totally different people. So Married at First Sight, I don't know if we ever will know, but I would sure as heck love to know, what is the deal with Chris and the ex-fiance? What was his motive? What is going on? Maybe at some date I'll have the guy on my channel. Maybe. I think he definitely wants to be on social media, because he is still posting. His account is public. He's posting a ton, and so it's like he's not holding anything back on social media whatsoever. Well, alright, y'all. Married at First Sight, freaking amazing episode. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit the comments below, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.